that are coming to a whole new country, they're very well supported in the first year, and then moving into second year without having that same level of support would be very overwhelming. So with the increased funding, we're hoping to more gradually decrease the amount that the students receive in financial support. And so then they'll feel like they're better supported throughout the whole undergrad, and then hopefully they'll stay and graduate here, since that's the goal of the program.
You spoke about support that students receive when they come into UPEI. So what kind of support services are offered by WUSC?
I think there's a variety of support services. Firstly, there's obviously educational support. So in terms of like the courses that they take, like any help that any extra help, or like getting used to basically taking different courses. Mm-hmm. And then I think there's also a more like cultural help that they get. So for example, like if you don't come from somewhere where there's no snow, and then you come here and you're like, oh, coats.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think there's definitely, because I know that like some of the group members in our project, like Nick Wilkie, have worked, have been with like our SRP student extensively, and just helping them get used to like just living in Charlottetown, because it's definitely not just about your academic life. It's about like getting used to living in Charlottetown as well.
Yep. And some people think that we should, or PEI as a community should focus on helping locals, like students who come from here or live here, as opposed to refugees who are like come from a ways. So how would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, I think to a certain extent, you know, you always have to support local communities, mm-hmm. But I don't think that should come at a price of supporting others. Like, I think you have to realize that regardless of where you are, there are people that need help. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think that the WUSC Society in helping SRP students detracts from helping local communities. Like, often when you work in WUSC, you're working with a local community, and these are students who are going to contribute to local communities, who we want to help contribute to local communities. Like, our SRP student is looking for a job in Charlottetown, so it's not as if like they're freeloading, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that it does have a large benefit for all the students who are working in the committee, because they are being exposed to this opportunity to work closely with someone who's coming from a refugee camp, and so then that's motivating these students to learn more about refugee issues and to share it with some of their friends, and so then it's bringing all kinds of new learning opportunities. And for example, last semester we had set up a refugee camp at UPEI, and so then all sorts of students were able to walk through and learn more about these issues that are going on around the world. And so, like Nick was saying, it's not as if we're saying we don't need to help people who are here versus helping people who are from somewhere else, but it's really important to realize that people who aren't able to stay in their country that they call home because it's no longer safe for them to do so need help from someone. And so if everyone says, well, we're just going to help the people who are already close to us, then no one would end up helping those who are in such dire need of somewhere just to be safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are like you said, it shouldn't come at a cost of helping other people. Like, you're trying to help as much people as you can, so it shouldn't be like this is just for people who are from here, because in the end, the world is a global village. We all contribute to it in some way, and so yeah, yes, yes, we should.
I like the idea of I think it's a great idea that like of helping, or not even but working with other people from other places, because sometimes PEI, like we don't have the best experience with immigrants staying here, and or people from away who are staying here, and I think that the WUSC Society is trying very hard to address this issue on a local scale. And trying to, even if it's one or two people, one person per year, like over 20 years, that's, or over 20 students, that's quite extensive. But, I don't know, I think, if you want to see change at a local level, you have to start it with yourself. So, it's good to see, that attempt to try and connect and help.
And it's not like we're saying there's any perfect solution to all the problems, but we're just hoping that through the effort that we're putting into this, that we're willing to put the work in, and we're hoping that people are willing to support us, and we're doing what we can with these resources.
So in terms of like spots open, so let's say UPEI or the UPEI chapter of WUSC increases its capacity to accommodate 2 students. So, in the past, is it like we have too many people applying for one spot here? And so should we even talk about beyond this? Should we talk about like trying to help more people or opening up more spots? Has that been the case?
So with the budget projections that we've been making so far, we're trying to set up a system for the moment that we would take 2 students every 3rd year. So we would do 2 students and then go back to 1 student and then go back to 2 students again after a couple of years of 1 student. And that would help with the transition for whenever we end up having multiple students on campus at the same time that we're supporting. Because it's a student-run committee, we have to make sure that we always have executive that are taking on all the responsibilities that come with sponsoring these students. And so then if we're wanting to increase the number of students that we take, it's something that we've been thinking a lot about, but if we ended up taking even, say, like 3 students every year, that would end up 3 students multiplied by 4, so 12 students at one time is a lot. And we would probably have to work at increasing the number of students in the committee and making a lot of other changes first. There are other campuses that sponsor a number of students, but they definitely have larger committees. So thinking about those changes first, and then maybe looking in the future to increasing to more students after we have it set up.
Just to add on to that, and you have to ensure that the SRP student is having like a positive experience. Like you wouldn't want to add more than 1 SRP student if you don't have the resources to make a positive experience for the first SRP student that is there.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't go past your carrying capacity. By nature. So for UPEI students who want to be involved with WUSC, how do they get hold of information?
Well, we have a Facebook page for UPEI WUSC, and so people are welcome to like the page. We post information there. We also have a Facebook group for committee members, and so people can ask to join the group. We have an email, which is wuscupei@gmail.com. And we're also having an information session after exams, once everyone's a little bit less stressed. So that's going to be on April 19th in the International Relations Office in the library at 1 p.m. So people are welcome to just show up for that, and we'll be talking more about WUSC and how people can get involved.
So you were going to say something?
I was wondering, is it wuscupei@gmail.com or gmail.ca? Or do you know if it's...
I don't know. I think it's...
Yeah, okay. So do you guys want to add anything else to the discussion as we wrap up?
Well, I mean, I think one last comment, or maybe not last, but I don't know. I really like being a part of WUSC because it's an opportunity to meet people from even people who have like similar minds towards like this kind of work, like international work, or and like working with someone who's actually, you know, who you're actually working with instead of working like in an abstract sense. Because a lot of like international work that you get is like donate $20 and you save an elephant, or you're doing whatever. And I think that this is a very real project in which you realize that the person you're working with is, you know, is on an equal level than you are, and you're not just looking down and saying, oh, I can do this, and I can do this, as you're saying, I can work with this person. So I think it personifies international work to an excellent degree.
And if people are wondering whether they should get involved, if it's maybe a little bit interesting but they're not sure, to that, I would just say that we can use any kind of skill that anyone has, really. Things like we need people to show the student around Charlottetown. We need people to who know how to plan an event or to spread the word on social media about different things that are going on, or people who anything like, for example, maybe we go apple picking and they have a connection to someone who has an apple orchard. Just random things that I'll contribute to the committee. So there's literally no one who doesn't have skills that would be useful.
Right. Yep. So, yes. Okay.
That's a challenge.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming. And before we go, I'd like to say thank you to Joseph Ong for the theme song.